quiet hum of the refrigerator. 3 a.m. The silence of the house is so loud it feels like a presence in the room. And there it is again. That memory. The one that arrives, uninvited, playing on a loop with perfect clarity. You feel the same drop in your stomach, the same heat in your face, the words you said, or the thing you failed to do. It's a ghost that shares your bed, a cold spot on the mattress. You've replayed the scene 1,000 times, trying to edit it, to find a different ending. You've told yourself, I just need to forgive myself. You've rehearsed apologies you'll never give, or you've given them and received a hollow silence in return. And you wait. You wait for a feeling of release, a cosmic permission slip that says, it's okay now, you can put it down. But the weight is still in your hands. It hasn't gotten lighter. Not one bit. What if that permission is never going to arrive? What if the relief you're searching for doesn't exist in the way you've been told? We're taught a very simple story about mistakes and moving on. The story says that pain is a wound and forgiveness is the medicine. Whether it's from another person or from yourself, forgiveness is presented as the key that unlocks the cage of the past. Without it, you're doomed to sit in that cell forever, rattling the bars. But look around, look at your own life. Is that story working? Or has the search for that key become the cage itself? Here's what's interesting about the architecture of reality. It doesn't operate on good or bad, right or wrong. It operates on cause and effect. Every action, every word, every choice is like a weaver throwing a shuttle. It lays down a new thread in the great tapestry of what is. Once that thread is woven, it's there. It's part of the pattern. Forever. It's not a stain you can scrub out. It's a colour, a texture that has now become a permanent part of the whole design. Forgiveness, in the way we usually think of it, is an attempt to unsee that thread. It's an agreement to pretend it isn't there, or to cover it with a patch. But you can still feel it. Your fingers still trace its outline in the dark. You know the exact coordinates of where that thread changed, the entire picture. And the energy you spend trying to ignore it, to forget it, to wish it away, is immense. It's a constant low-level drain on your very being. Think about it. The argument you had with your mother 10 years ago. The words hang in the air between you. You, unspoken, but always present. You both might say, I forgive you, but the memory of that moment has fundamentally changed the blueprint of your relationship. It added a room to the house you share, a room you both quietly agree not to enter, but you both know it is there. The trust you broke with a friend, even if they say it's fine, the connection that existed before is gone. A new one might grow in its place, but it will be a different shape, a different strength. It will grow around the fact of what happened. The universe doesn't do take-backs. Reality is built on a foundation of what is, not what should have been. The very idea that you need to be forgiven implies that you are somehow broken or in debt. It puts you in a position of waiting for someone else's grace, or waiting for a version of yourself that is wise and compassionate enough to grant you pardon. This state of waiting is a form of paralysis. It's an anchor dropped in the past, holding you in the turbulent waters of a single moment, while the rest of the world, the rest of your life, flows on without you. You're not participating in the present because you're still trying to litigate the past. You scroll through your phone, you go to work, you make small talk, But your true attention, your core energy, is tied up in that one unresolved loop. The loop of guilt, the loop of shame, the loop of regret, and the belief that forgiveness is the only escape, is the very thing that keeps the loop spinning. It promises a freedom that it can't deliver because it's based on a false premise. The premise that the past can be erased or neutralized. It can't. The thread is in the tapestry. So, what is the alternative? Is it a life sentence of self-punishment? No, that's just the other side of the same coin. Both forgiveness and self-punishment are obsessed with the past. They are both ways of trying to deal with the thread. One tries to hide it, the other tries to burn it, but both give it all the power. They make that single thread the most important part of the entire design. The courage to exist without forgiveness is something else entirely. It's the choice to turn your full attention to the tapestry as it is now, with that thread included. It's about acknowledging its colour, its texture, its place in the overall pattern of your life. It's not about liking the thread. It's not about approving of it. It's about accepting that it is there and that its presence has changed you. This isn't a comfortable idea. It goes against everything we've been told. We want the clean slate, the fresh start, the absolution that washes everything away. We see this desire everywhere, in movies, in self-help books, in religious texts. The promise of redemption. But true transformation, the kind that reshapes your reality, doesn't come from wiping the slate clean. It comes from learning to write on the slate you have, ink stains and all. The weight of your past actions, the things you cannot take back, is not a burden you are meant to drop. You think it's holding you down, but what if it's actually an anchor providing stability in a storm? What if that weight is the very thing that forces you to build a stronger foundation? What if the thing you've been trying so desperately to get rid of is actually a source of profound, untapped power? This is not about letting yourself off the hook. It's about taking the hook out of the past and putting it into the present. It's about realizing that the energy spent waiting for an apology or for a feeling of self-acceptance is the very energy you need to build the next phase of your life. A life that isn't built on pretending the past didn't happen, but one that is built with the wisdom that only comes from having lived it, from having woven that dark, uncomfortable thread and knowing, with absolute certainty, the texture it added to everything. You stand at a crossroads. You can continue to wait for a forgiveness that may never come, from them or from you. You can keep pouring your life force into a closed door, or you can turn around and walk down a different path, a path where you carry your whole story with you, not as a burden, but as your map, not as a source of shame, but as a source of undeniable truth about who you are and where you've been. This path requires a different kind of courage, not the courage to fix the past, but the courage to exist with it fully and completely right now. By the way, our shared space of light and awareness is on its way to 100,000 people. Thank you to everyone who subscribes and brings this moment closer. So you choose to turn around. You stop knocking on the closed door of the past. What does that actually look like? What does it feel like on a Tuesday morning when you're making coffee and the memory hits you again? The path isn't about building a wall against the memory. It's about changing your relationship with it. It's about moving from the problem of unforgiveness to the power within it. We're obsessed with the idea of closure. We think life is a series of chapters that must be neatly tied up before we can start the next one. We want to close the circle. But some circles are not meant to be closed. An open circle is not a sign of failure. It's a sign of a story that's still alive, still teaching you something. Think of it like a satellite dish. A closed circle is a sphere, complete and self-contained. It can't receive anything new. An open circle, a dish, is pointed towards the universe, actively receiving information. The unresolved event, the thing you can't forgive, keeps a part of you open. It keeps you humble. It keeps you listening. That unresolved pain becomes a strange kind of compass. It points you toward a deeper integrity. Because you carry the full weight of what you've done, you become incredibly careful about what you do now. It's not about fear. It's about respect for the law of cause and effect. You've seen how one action can create ripples you can never take back, so you become incredibly deliberate about the ripples you create today. Your words have more weight because you know how much words can hurt. Your promises become sacred because you know the hollow feeling of a promise being broken. This isn't something you learn from a book. This is a wisdom that is forged in the fire of your own regret. It's a deep, quiet strength that people who have never made a life-altering mistake can't possibly understand. They live on the surface, where everything can be fixed with an apology or a new resolution. You have been forced to live in the depths, where you learn that some things can't be fixed, only carried, and in carrying them, you become strong enough to hold not only your own pain, but to have a greater capacity for the pain of others. True transformation does not come from erasing the past. It comes from using its weight as a foundation. Imagine a stonemason building a wall. They don't discard the irregular, heavy, awkward stones. Those are the ones they use for the foundation. They are the ones that give the wall its strength and character. Your mistakes, your regrets, the things that keep you up at night. Those are your foundation stones. The weight you've been trying to drop is the very thing that can anchor you. It carves out a depth in you that a life of ease and comfort could never achieve. It's a painful excavation, but it creates space within you. Space for more compassion, more honesty, more reality. You stop floating through life. You start walking with intention because you can feel the ground beneath your feet. And you know the weight you carry connects you to it. You become more real, less of a performance, less of an idea of who you should be, and more of the complex, flawed, and powerful being you actually are. This is a profound shift in how you operate in the world. You stop needing to be seen as a good person. That need is a trap. It forces you into a constant act of performance and denial. When you carry your story openly, you are simply a person who did a thing they cannot undo, and who is living every moment from that place of truth. There is an incredible integrity in that. People can feel it. They might not know what it is, but they feel the gravity you have. They sense that you are not afraid of the darker aspects of life because you have navigated your own. They trust you more, not because you are perfect, but because you are whole. Your wholeness includes your scars, your breaks, your so-called imperfections. You stop hiding parts of yourself, and in doing so, you give others permission to do the same. This is how you begin to change the the fabric of reality around you. Not by pretending to be light, but by integrating your own darkness, and in doing so, creating a more honest and authentic light. Think about a tree. A tree with deep roots can withstand any storm. The roots grow deep into the darkness of the earth. The past you can't forgive. Those are your roots. The deeper they go into that uncomfortable truth, the taller you can grow into the light without fear of being blown over. The courage to exist without forgiveness is not a one-time decision. It is a continuous state of being. It's a choice you make every single day. It's the courage to wake up in the morning, feel the familiar ache of that memory, and instead of pushing it away, you simply acknowledge it. Ah, you are here again. I see you. And then you get up and you make your coffee. It's the courage to have a conversation and be fully present. Instead of being half stuck in the past, it's the courage to accept a compliment without deflecting it. Because you know that being worthy is not about being flawless. It's about being complete. This isn't a punishment. It's a radical form of responsibility. You're taking full ownership of your entire story, not just the chapters. They're easy to read. And here's the most important part. This responsibility is what sets you free. The freedom doesn't come from the weight being lifted. The freedom comes from you becoming strong enough to carry it. The cage was never the past event itself. The cage was the waiting. Waiting for the rules to change. Waiting for an external pardon. Waiting for a feeling of release. By choosing to carry your story, you're picking up the whole cage and walking out the door. The bars are still there, but they no longer define your world. They are just a part of the structure you now carry. A reminder of where you've been, and a testament to the strength you've built. You're no longer a prisoner of your past. You're a student of it. It is your teacher, your anchor, and your strange and unlikely source of power. You don't have to like it. You just have to allow it to be what it is, a part of you. The thread is in the tapestry. And now you can finally begin to appreciate the strange and beautiful pattern it has made. If this video changed something in you, write in the comments, "I carry my story." Write it as your promise. Nobody